Media Day, Celtics fans. I always love Media Day. It's kind of like the week before school starts, and you get really excited for the regular season coming up, seeing all the players' happy faces, and hearing their big plans for the upcoming season. Well, we do have a lot to unpack on today's show. I'm Allie Barefoot, the host of Celtics Today. My producer, Coop, is right here to my left. And the number one thing we're going to talk about on today's show is the Celtics did sign Wenyen Gabriel to a deal. Now, this news did break yesterday, slightly after the Drew Holiday news broke, but obviously there was a lot to unpack with that recent signing. But Wenyen Gabriel did sign a training camp deal. He'll now compete for a big man roster spot. And this is not a new guy to the league. He's about 26 years old, so he's considered a vet in this league. But I'll definitely unpack what Wenyen Gabriel has done in his league in the past 7 years. But first, I want you guys to show Wenyen some love. Type WG down in the comments. Show him some love on social media. Let it be known that he is welcome in Boston. We are sending him the best of luck during training camp to help us get that 18th banner. So go on ahead and type WG in the comments. Now, Shams did tweet this yesterday once again after the Drew Holiday signing. Free agent Wenyen Gabriel is finalizing a deal with the Boston Celtics. Sources tell The Athletic. Gabriel, who averaged 5.5 points per game and 4.2 rebounds per game for the Lakers last season, will now compete for a reverse big man spot in Boston. Like I said, he is not new to the league. He was undrafted in 2018. Then he signed a two-way contract with the Kings that year. The Celtics are his seventh stop in franchise history, in the NBA franchise. He did play for, I think, 2 G Leagues during that time, but so far he is not unfamiliar with playing with big teams. And he worked out with the Celtics in recent weeks, so he got to know the players a little bit, and he is a very big man. So I think he's going to have a great shot at actually making this final roster, or at least maybe signing a two-way contract of some sort. But in his career stats, he has averaged 4.5 points per game, 3.4 rebounds per game, assists, half an assist a game, and his field goal percentage is fine. That's actually very, very good for 53.1%. Not bad. 3-point percentage is kind of lacking, 31%, but a guy that big, I can see why he's not going to shoot threes out there. However, there is room to grow, literally. The Celtics do kind of have to address their front court depth now. They've gotten rid of Robert Williams, and now they're leaning on Al Horford and Kristaps Porzingis. So the fact that they immediately signed somebody like Wenyen Gabriel, Brad Stevens is not playing around right now, guys. He absolutely knows what he's doing. At least it seems like it, because immediately after he signed Drew Holiday, which is a point guard, he went and picked up another center for a two-way deal. So I'm very excited to see what he'll be able to produce for this training camp, which is now started. Media Day is today. Preseason game is on Sunday. But do you guys like this recent signing? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I think yes. Why not let him prove himself? He's obviously played for the Lakers last season. He's played with the King James. He can obviously compete. He's putting up about 4 points per game. Like I said, you're not looking for a starter. You're just looking for somebody to possibly come up if Al Horford or Porzingis do get hurt. So I'm going to go with yes for this one. You guys let me know. And while you're doing that, I want to talk to you about our new sponsor here on Celtics Today, Prize Picks. Oh my gosh, I love this app. I'm actually kind of obsessed, which isn't good, but it's fine. It's a daily fantasy sports app where all you have to do is pick 2 to 6 players, and you pick their projected stats, and you can win up to 25 times your money on any entry. It's so easy. 60 seconds or less, just pick more or less on their stats. I have played this on Sunday yesterday. I am now playing it for the Monday Night Football game. They have a ton of good deals. This one is actually called the Meek Millie deal. So I actually did not pick any of these. The deal was already set up. All I had to do was put $20 in, and this will get me a chance to win $200 if it does hit. So I did take Geno Smith to have more than 250.5 passing yards. Daniel Jones, of course, to have less than 230.5 passing yards, and a couple other picks, including Tyler Lockett, 4.5 receptions. If you guys want to make your picks, including the Meek Millie deal, all you have to do is go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use code CLNS for a first-time deposit match up to $100. The link and description are in the chat. Watch yourself win some money in some real time. Now, I did tell you guys we have a lot to unpack on today's show, and I was not lying, because that front court depth has now become a bit of a concern after Porzingis and Horford, because Robert Williams is now with the Portland Trail Blazers. He was traded away to acquire Drew Holiday to the Boston Celtics. So I'm going to refresh your memory for a second here. Here's what the front court depth actually looks like right now without Robert Williams. Al Horford, of course, could be a starting center. You just picked up Kristaps Porzingis this past offseason. He's going to be a great forward center. He can play both positions. O'Shea Brissett has a lot to prove. I'm very excited to see him play. Luke Cornett, we have seen play in the Celtics uniform. And Neemias Queta has an asterisk here because he is a two-way contract. Not to say he can't prove himself, but this is kind of what we're working with right now. The good news is that Kristaps Porzingis did address the media earlier today, and he said he feels great. He actually addressed the plantar fasciitis and says he thinks it happened because he changed up his shoes. So, Kristaps, wear the same shoes. Please help us out here, buddy. But he also said, I am a great defender. He says it's a tough job for other fives to be able to defend me. Defensively, I'm most effective if I'm around the rim protecting the rim. That gives me a lot of hope. He's ready to work. He didn't play for his Latvian World Cup because he wanted to be able to produce for the Celtics. So the potential starting five could have Kristaps Porzingis here at power forward, now Horford at center, or you could do Jrue Holiday, Aaron Derek White, and then move everybody else down. I think that could also be a play to work with here. Joe Mazzulla did address this on Media Day, and he said, I'm working it out. He has not said what his starting lineup will be, but he knows he's got options. And of course he does, because currently there are 10 players with guaranteed roster spots as they are now currently in training camp. They do have 5 players. They have 18 total players on their training camp roster, including 3 two-way contract players and 5 free agents they did pick up in the offseason. And of course, those do include O'Shea Brissett, Svi Mykhailiuk, Lamar Stevens, Neemias Queta, and Delano Banton. Now, they did just sign Wenyen Gabriel as well to a training camp deal to also see if they're going to obtain him towards the regular season. But there's a lot of room here. But these are all younger guys that have something to prove, or they've already shown us what they can do. In terms of, do the Celtics want to go pick up somebody at the trade deadline that actually has experience and more of a bigger, beefier guy? We'll see. But in that meantime, we want you guys to subscribe to this channel, because whoever the Celtics do sign, whatever the Celtics do, we are going to keep you updated. News and rumors constantly being put out weekly, multiple videos a week, because 1 sub equals 1 win this regular season. Guys, we are almost there. Preseason starts on Sunday. And Joe Mazzulla actually did give us a quote. He said, Brian Robb of Mass Live did give this quote. He said, a leak source tells Mass Live that Boston is not done tweaking the roster after acquiring Holiday, with training camp on the horizon. The timing of subsequent moves will be dependent on a few factors, though. So, there are now rumors in the Twitter sphere that Brad Stevens is not done tweaking his roster. But if he does want to add some things, a dear friend of mine, Kevin O'Connor, did tweet that even after adding Jrue Holiday, the Celtics can still trade 2 future firsts and 3 swaps. They also have 8 second-round picks. So if Boston needs to improve its depth before the trade deadline, Brad Stevens has the assets to make more moves. We know Brad likes to move in silence. He obviously signed Wenyen Gabriel right after Jrue Holiday. I didn't think we were going to acquire Jrue Holiday, but Brad Stevens did happen to pull it out. A big man will be essential. I don't know if it's essential right now because we haven't seen what the depth can actually work with, but maybe at trade deadline. However, Brad Stevens did touch on the big man's position during Media Day. He said if we add to our front court at all, it would be focused on motor and competitiveness. If you can get a great shot blocker, that's great. A little bit easier said than done, but we're really going to miss Rob in a lot of ways. That made me feel really good because I miss Robert Williams already. I thought he was going to absolutely just soar in the Boston Celtics uniform. But, of course, they did trade him away to get Jrue Holiday. So the Celtics can wait until trade deadline, in my opinion. I don't think it's that big of a necessity right now. I don't think everybody needs to freak out because the fact that you've got a very, very good starting 5 right there, including maybe even a top 6 because you just added Jrue Holiday and Derek White now on the bench. But who do you guys think the Celtics should add to their roster? Whether it's by trade deadline, whether it's before the regular season starts, go on ahead, drop in the comments who you would like to see in a Boston Celtics jersey this season. And while you're at it, give me a follow on Twitter. I've been tweeting out my opinions every day about the Boston Celtics. I've been tweeting out breaking news as well. Not as fast as Woj, but I usually quote Woj's tweets. So go on ahead, follow me on Twitter. You know I'm part of that follow back gang because I am working around the clock to get you the most updated Boston Celtics information.